pockets of resistance all around the planet. We've been fighting a long time. If you're listening to this, you are not alone. You are the resistance.
Alexa, what is a chemtrail?
Chemtrail. Trails left by aircraft are actually chemical or biological agents deliberately sprayed at high altitudes for a purpose undisclosed to the general public in clandestine programs directed by government officials.
Are y'all seeing what's going on here? And y'all talk about this ain't the mark, y'all trying to say this ain't the mark of the beast. That's what y'all saying? Do y'all see this up here? Look at it, man. Look at what you're looking at now. So I'm bringing this to y'all live and direct. Look at it. It's on all the doors. So right now, I can open it. You know what I'm saying? I don't drink, but I'm just showing y'all. That ain't just for the beer. That's for everything. All of these doors back here. Digital. Benefits. This is fantastic. Wow. That's crazy, guys. That's crazy. Say wave to speak. See, they gonna give you a soft disclosure first, and then they gonna hit folks with the mark you can't open it. Now the question is, are they gonna do this behind you having to have okay, because that you remember those ultraviolets, like this stuff here. This stuff is like, you know, it might very well read ultraviolet, read stuff under your skin, stuff like that. But I just find that really crazy, guys. They got this stuff on the store. Like the door's open right now. Like you can open the doors right now. Open it, no problem. But what's gonna happen in the coming months, man, coming years, I think in the coming months, I don't think they went and see. They slowly putting this stuff in, man. And I bet you these things are connected directly to the. Because remember they was talking about they can operate the farm equipment and all kind of extra stuff. So they tell you all the good stuff about this stuff, but they don't tell you the bad stuff that they doing in the background. So this is the bad stuff that they doing. These things is like, from what I understand, they bulletproof and everything else, man. So like I said, this is why they want to have machines working in the stores. All right, they want to have the machines working in the stores so that they can keep people from coming up here and getting stuff. And when they start the food shortages, this is what they're gonna do. They're gonna lock these dang doors and things so people can't get nothing in it. And they're gonna start doing it with the food and stuff too. The stuff in the aisles, medicines and things like that. This is what they doing. They creating a food shortage. Then they want to make it so they lock all the doors to the food, so can't nobody come up here stealing, because they know people here ain't gonna go crazy. How much money do y'all think that they had to invest in these dang doors? You really need bulletproof doors and stuff? What are you preparing for? You see what I'm saying? So I just want to show y'all this, man, so y'all can see it yourselves what they doing. See what they doing? They got the stuff on the doors. Like, what is your purpose for that? What is your purpose? Hey man, stuff's getting real. Y'all just make sure y'all prayed up, man. Y'all paying attention to what's going on. All right?
Nothing more to report. With regard to food shortages, yes, we did so talk about food shortages. And it's going to be real. The price of these sanctions is not just imposed upon Russia. It's imposed upon an awful lot of countries as well, including European countries and our country as well.
Hey, what's up, family? What's going on? What's going on, man? Wow, explosive week, right? Just dropped the video. It's too late, guys. Afraid it is. Okay. If you didn't see that video, I do have that airing right now on Rumble. Okay. Got some good information, man. Some good information. Hit on some things I think we need to hit on. But I want to hit on some things today because, like, guys, I be having an epiphany. like it just be coming to me, like, so I'll be like, dang, let me go ahead and jot this down. I'll get this on video real quick. First, I want to also give a shout out to one of the supporters, Melissa. Melissa gave a very generous donation, man, and I really, really appreciate you. I can't emphasize this enough. I don't get donations quite too often. I'll say that I could go weeks and not get a donation, you know, especially if it may not be a very significant one, if that. But I don't, like I said, I don't do it for the donations. I do it just, it's out of the love and kindness of my heart. You know, just like some people donate out of love and kindness of their heart. But that's the love and stuff that we have. We share, you know, just us, you know, just our human, you know, feel and love for one another. Like that's just something that people should have. Like human beings generally have a caring love and you know, sympathy, empathy and stuff for each other, man. And that's why it's like we can't watch each other just walk and jump off and fall off a cliff, man, and not say nothing, man. Like I've always been a caring person, man. I'm the type of guy that just be walking down the street and I see a homeless person, I just reach in my pocket, whatever I got, I give it to him. You know, if I'm riding down the street, like I almost try to give something to every person I see on the corner. That's just how I am, man. It's a good thing and it could be a bad thing. I mean, some people take your kindness for weakness. Some people don't appreciate you. Some people don't appreciate the stuff you do. Some people take advantage of you. Trust me, I know, I've been there. But I feel like with this whole thing, man, I feel like I have a moral obligation, you know, to redistribute the information, and that's kind of what I wanted to touch on today. All right. And I'm gonna put some things in perspective for you guys real quick. All right. Like I said, thanks though to Melissa for the donation, much appreciated. Like I said, guys, I just put out the video. It's too late, and why I said that is because based off what we know, guys, this was definitely planned. Okay, definitely planned. Okay, I'm gonna try to float under the radar on this, guys. We'll try to float on the radar because I want to say some things so bad, man, but I can't, and I know I can't, which really hurts my description of what I'm trying to say. But let's see how we do this. Okay, we just gonna talk about some stuff from the past. All right. First of all, I want to talk to y'all about consciousness, right? People talk so much about consciousness. Remember the video I had about Alex Collier? Okay, Alex Collier was talking about we have to raise the consciousness, got to raise the consciousness of the planet. Okay, consciousness. We understand that to be potentially be your pineal gland and being able to have a connection to the spiritual realm. All right, to be able to be self-aware of things. Okay, like for instance, the chemtrails and stuff that they spray. Right, we know about that, and I put something in the video before, and I want to put something in here about the chemtrails, but I can't because I know it'll be damning. So I can't. I'm not gonna put that in here. But we understand that the chemtrails, they have some type of effect on cognitive brain function. All right, cognitive brain function. Like they have these terms and things that they use to describe what it's like to have limited intelligence. All right, or not to be spiritually connected. Like they're not gonna tell us, oh, spiritual connection is that other spiritual discernment. They're not gonna talk in that type of way. They're not gonna describe things in that way, and they're not going to give you any clues. They're not gonna give us any clues to the spiritual realm and how to be spiritually connected. Remember, everything they do is to disconnect you spiritually, to disconnect you from the Most High, the Creator, okay, to keep you grounded, to keep you vibrating on a low frequency. Okay, as long as you vibrate on a low frequency, which you do the things that they promote, which they want you to eat the meat, they want you to drink the milk, they want you to put these different chemicals and stuff in you, they want to have the lead and the mercury and things that affect you. Okay, that's why they make sure they put this stuff in stuff that you consume. All right, different products and things, man. These things have a negative effect. Like some of you may know, you eat some dead things, you vibrate on at a low frequency. Like that's why you eat animal meat and everything like that. it'll have an effect on you. Okay, it affects your spirit, man. What else? Oh, you take in a lot of negative, like like television or programming and stuff like that. It lowers your frequency. It keeps you vibrating low, makes it hard for you to pick and raise your consciousness, right? So, like, people try to define consciousness in different ways. Okay, what I'm gonna do real quick, I'm gonna read to you what consciousness is. All right, which is like, okay, Net, I know what consciousness is. I know, guys, I get it, right? But sometimes we need to be reminded so we can get an understanding of where we at, what we doing, and where we going. All right, and why this is this. All right, so consciousness is the state of being awake, aware of one's surroundings. Okay, that's one definition, variation of definition. The second one is the awareness or perception of something by a person. Okay, consciousness. You hear that? The awareness or perception of something by a person. Okay, the last one, the fact of awareness by the mind of itself and the world. Okay, now that's 3 definitions. What's another one? You guys can probably pick it out without even having to be told, but it wasn't listed here. But consciousness, okay, or conscious is another derivative of consciousness, right? So being conscious is like, okay, I'm awake, right? I'm awake. I'm not unconscious. Okay, unconscious is basically in like a comatose state or something like that. To be conscious, you're awake and you're aware of your surroundings, what they implemented here. And to be conscious is also to know what's going on. Like, I know something's over there. Like, I'm conscious of the birds that are flying over there. I'm conscious of these mosquitoes that's flying around my truck, right? So how do we tie all this in? Okay, people talk about consciousness and lifting your consciousness. Okay, now if you've been watching TV and programming and CNN, guess what? You're distracted, right? So you're not what? You're not conscious of the things that are going on around you. Just like I just said, I'm conscious of the birds, I'm conscious of the mosquitoes, I'm conscious of this and that. Okay, if I'm straight zoomed in and I'm glued in on this road, then I'm only focused on the road and I can't see, I'm not aware of what's going on around me. Yeah, I got my peripheral vision, but I'm distracted by the road. You understand what I'm saying? So, envision the television, and you're watching television and constantly stuck on that. We'll be more direct. CNN, you watching CNN every day, which some people do, right? They're programmed. They're watching a program. They're being programmed. Okay, therefore they're unable, or they're not able to recognize or acknowledge the things around them. Okay, the warning signs, like I just said, the warning signs. People miss the warning signs. If you're conscious, you're aware of the things around you, the things that are going on. Okay, you're not able to be controlled or programmed. Okay, so like, as far as the chemtrails, I talked about the chemtrails. Chemtrails are known to have chemicals and things in there that are poisonous to the body and whatnot, and also affect cognitive brain function. Okay, some of that function is necessary to be able to connect dots and to be able to store information. All right, so if you're not storing information, on top of the fact that you programmed to look directly ahead and not see the things that's going on around you, then obviously you're gonna miss it. Okay, so if your consciousness is high, okay, that means you're aware of the things that's going on around you. You're also aware of the things that's going on underneath the surface. Okay, so like, people talk about being awake. I consider myself very woke. Okay, I'm sure some of you feel the same way, which very much so many of you are. Okay, because look, you're conscious about the things that was going on and what you need to be aware of to do what? To avoid this major catastrophe. Okay? Now, what's significant about that? Well, people talk about, okay, well, all this stuff is going on, right? All right? And people are like, well, where is God in all this? Where is God in all of this when all these millions of billions of people are being affected? Are you affected? That's just at that. Are you affected by this? Okay? Think about that. All this stuff is happening. All these people you try to reach and everything. Think about it. Everybody has had an opportunity to hear or know about what was going on. Many were what? Distracted. But distracted by who? The devil. Okay, distracted by the devil, kept them glued. Who's the devil? Well, the devil is over these beings, these demons. Okay, with Dracos, whatever you want to call them. They're using the programming, which is basically been implemented by who? Satan, right? Satan has got their attention, distracted them with everything to keep them vibrating on a low frequency, unable to grasp consciousness, unable to be conscious of what's going on. All right, we're conscious. So in the meantime, what is conscious? Is being able to be connected to what? The spiritual world, the spiritual realm, and also be able to have spiritual discernment. Well, who gives you spiritual discernment? Think about this, guys. When you walk in a room, right, sometimes you have a good feel for when you walk in the room. You're like, man, this don't feel right, right? That's conscious. Okay, you're being conscious of what's going on. Who's giving you that consciousness? That's a spiritual consciousness. Okay, you can feel the tension. They talk about you can cut the tension with a knife. You can feel the tension, cut it with a knife. You know, you can walk in the room, you can feel somebody's eyes on you. You don't see them, but you know people, somebody looking at you if you have a high level of consciousness, right? But for those that don't, they don't. Like some people, man, it's like, think about this, okay? Remember, I don't know if you remember Boys in the Hood when Trey got in the car and he was gonna go ride and do something because they had shot his homie or whatever, and the whole time he in the car, boom. And it was like, get out the car, Trey, get out the car. Like his dad, it was showing it like his dad was basically in his head. His dad was playing with these balls in his own hand, and his son was riding in his car about to go do, something bad. And so Trey's dad is constantly rotating these balls in his hands, and in Trey's head, he's thinking the whole time. He's thinking, so like his consciousness is messing with him, okay? And his consciousness is telling him, get out the car, Trey, get out the car, Trey. So Trey gets out the car. Okay, they go and they do the little bad deed or whatever. Next thing you know, it came back on all them boys end up dead, right? Except Trey. Trey got out the car. His consciousness got him out that car, right? And some of you may have done this before. You ever been like getting ready to go somewhere? Like I put it like the other day. All right, I was getting ready to take a ride somewhere, and I ended up leaving something at the house, so I had to run back to the house and get it. And then when I came back, it was like a big traffic jam, and it was like right in the area I was getting ready to go to, there was a bad accident. Okay, so in those instances, was that divine intervention? Did God intervene and say, look, I'm gonna make sure he lead this and this and that way he'll go back and he'll avoid being at this scene at this time? Okay, that could be considered as a conscious situation where my consciousness told me to go back to the house to do that. Well, I could have said, I forget, I don't need, I just go boom, boom, boom. But then again, the divine power came on me and was like, yo, you need to go get that. So look at it like this, guys. All right, we talk about spiritual discernment. All right, spiritual discernment. Well, what is spiritual? Spiritual comes from what? The pineal gland, right? Pineal gland gives you connection with the Most High, right? So if everybody has if you have a truly spiritual connection, okay, to the Most High, then that means that your consciousness is being touched to some degree, right? So if something was presented in front of you, because you're not vibrating so low, you're not stuck on the programming, okay, you distant from that. So if something comes to you and says, look, I don't think you need to, something in you said, hey, I don't think you need to do that. I don't think you need to take that walk, right? Just like Trey's dad was like, get out the car. Boom. All right. Father in heaven say, hey, I don't think you need to ride to that clinic to take that walk. You see what I'm saying? So you don't do that. And what do? You also go and what? Witness to others and say the same thing. Like, I don't think, because you are already spiritually connected to the Most High, and you able to spiritually discern that ain't a good move, right? So you don't do it. But many others, you watch many others do that. Go and take the walk. And they have no connection. Mentally, cognitive brain function, dead. Spiritual discernment, dead. Spiritual connection, dead. Common sense, dead. Okay, what do? Straight line. See what I'm saying? Programmed. Cut off from the signal from the Most High. We programmed. We going straight over there. We going straight to that dang clinic. That's what we about to do. So, you look at that. You say, well, dang, why wasn't I compelled to do that? Well, are you vibrating high? Is your heart pure? Okay? Are you walking right? Are you walking a righteous path? You know, I've always felt like this, guys. And they say, like, everything is connected. Everything is connected in the spirit. Everything is connected, has a spirit, a soul, whatever. The earth, insects, animals, guys. Like, me personally, I can just tell you the type of person I am. Like, I was in a hotel probably like 3-4 weeks ago, right? And it was like an insect. It was this ugly insect that was crawling on the blinds, like in the hotel room. And the first thing I thought when I seen it was, I got to get him out of here. It wasn't, oh, let me kill this thing. It was, let me get him out of here. So I grabbed him up in a cup and I walked all the way down from the 8th floor of the hotel, all the way down to the bottom, outside the doors, just to let this insect out that was probably about this big, right? I did that, opened the cup, put him off in the grass. What does that mean? I don't know, but it tells me I know I got a more of a sensitive side. I have a heart. Like, I'm the person, I'll slam on the brakes to avoid hitting a rabbit, okay, or a squirrel, and if I do, if I do hit something, I'm gonna feel bad I don't care if it's a frog or whatever. Now, I don't like roaches. If I see a roach, but I'm not going out my way to go find them, you know what I'm saying? But that's a different situation, but for the most part, I'm not the type to do that. Now, I remember when I was young, guys, I had these 2 friends I used to hang with. They was twins, all right? They was twins, and they used to be the most evilest kids, man, I swear. They used to beat their dog, okay? They used to blow fishes' heads off. They used to cut snakes up and all kind of stuff. They used to shoot at snapping turtles, and they was just bad, man. And I remember they used to watch MTV and stuff a lot. They used to be pretty much programmed, guys. They watch TV and stuff like that all day. I would watch it whenever I was over there with them, but it was the programming possibly that was being put in them at that time. I don't know, but they had a very evil side to them, okay? And we knew that, all right? Whereas sometimes I didn't like the stuff they did. I would watch it, man. I remember they used to be beating their dog, man. I wanted to intervene. I just watch. They'd be beating their dog. I'd be like, man, I think he had enough, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all already hit him upside the head with the grapefruit. You didn't punch him in the back twice. Like, he hurt. That was me. But I don't know, man. It's just being connected to the spirit world, and also being connected to those things around you, to living things. All right, that's possibly a level of consciousness. Okay, being awake and being aware that all these creatures, these living things, man, have a connection as well to the Most High, or also some of these things have souls or spirits or whatever else. You don't know, but it puts things in perspective when you see the type of person you are. And okay, well, obviously I'm not an evil person. All right, I'm not a bad person. I'm gonna go out my way to help people, and some of you are the same way. And that is why I believe that some of us have been touched spiritually, or we are actually real people. Man, we talking about real people and stuff, guys, and some of these people just ain't real. Okay, some of us are real. All right, some of us have a real consciousness. Some of us have a real pineal gland. Some of our pineal glands are open. All right, so we're able to make these discernments, okay? Some of us, our pineal glands have not been calcified by the programming, by the frequency, by the GMO foods, by the chemtrails and the stuff that they've dropped on us. See, so we are the last real, like, conscious human beings. You know, that's how some of us really are. Okay, so when people say, well, where is God in all this? Hey, God didn't touch his people. You understand what I'm saying? God has touched the people he wanted to touch. You see? So if you're supposed to do something, like I told you the other day when I walked out the house and I forgot something, God touched me, said, go back to the house, then come back this way. When I came back this way, I'm watching somebody, boom, laying on the ground. Right? Now, same thing happened. Same thing happened a couple weeks before that. Was riding down the road and my son was like, hey, I think I left something at the gym. So thinking like, okay, well, let's pull over and look. And when we looking and everything else, we find his phone. He thought he left his phone. We go down the road a little further and got on the highway. Boom, it's a guy laying in the street dead. Now, I don't know, guys. I'm just speculating because that's a possibility. Sometimes you avoid stuff and sometimes God takes you out the way. God moves you out the way to avoid you being in something that you ain't supposed to be in. If he got to handle somebody else, he going to tell you, get out the way. You know, I had to tell one of my friends this a while ago. Actually, the other night, I told him this because he was, you know, he was kind of in the streets at one point and everything. And he kept getting slapped on the wrist. And when I say slapped on the wrist, they gave him like some little petty time. Like he'd do like a year, maybe 2 or 3 years, right? And then the people that he was hanging with, while he was doing his last little stint or whatever, they end up getting like really like, they got some real big charges on them where they looking at doing like 30, 40, 50 years type stuff. Now, he used to hang with these people, okay? And during that time that he was locked up, this is what happened to them. So when he got out, they were gone. But it would have been that he would have been with them. They were under investigation during the time that he was hanging with them, but he ended up getting put into a different situation. God moved him out the way, maybe for a year, so he can handle that and told him, look, I gave you a second chance. You see, that's how you gotta look at things sometimes when stuff happens. But what I really want to say is this: God touched the people that he wanted to touch. Okay, you either one of them people or you're not. Okay, just like he said I know my mom used to say this all the time, God will protect the children because the children don't know. They don't know no better. Okay, so if he was to come back today or tomorrow and something didn't happen to them or they didn't been misled until they like 12 years old, I think it was an age she had put on it. I don't know. I'm just giving you what her insight was at the time, was that God will protect them and forgive them for whatever they've done. Okay, now in this case, there's kids that are affected by this, right? Well, some of these kids very well may be protected. Some of these kids may not end up in a bad situation, all right? But then again, at the same token, we have to look at the fact that he didn't touch certain people, okay? He didn't allow us to reach certain people. Some people blew you off. Some people were vibrating and are vibrating so low, okay, that they're unable to make conscious decisions. You see what I'm saying? They're unable to see things in the spirit. They're unable to recognize. Like I said, like we've been saying, guys, this is a spiritual war. This is on a spiritual level, okay? So a lot of these people are not able to fight in the spirit because they are connected to this world through the distractions and vibrating on such a low frequency that they're unable to lift their consciousness. Okay, remember what Alice Collier was saying, we have to lift our consciousness by a certain time. So if you lift your conscious, then what? Basically, anybody that was going to get raptured out, and we could be just talking and symbolically or whatever, guys, but if you was going to get raptured out, is it your consciousness that got raptured up and taken to the fifth dimension where you're able to see, or the fourth dimension? Okay, we could very well be in the fourth dimension right now, us that are completely awake. You understand what I mean? Like, to be able to recognize things and see things in a different light, see things on a different level, to see right through the crap that's going on. Just like when the dude in They Live, he put the sunglasses on and he was able to see everything that they was doing. It was like everything became clear to him. Okay, so what is it when you wake up from the third dimension? If you're stuck in the third dimension, you're vibrating low because you can't leave the third dimension, right? And you're vibrating low. You would not recognize things that somebody is able to see that's on the fourth and fifth density. Does that make sense? So it's levels. I feel like it's levels to this far as your spirit man, okay, and being able to discern different things. Like I think on certain levels of spirituality, you will have telepathic powers and things like this. Like you and I, like we may be on the same wavelength. You may know what I'm thinking. All right, some of you know what I'm thinking. Some of us thinking the same thing. That's why we was able to connect. That's why we was able to reach each other. And this is why you're here, okay? Because y'all connect with me. Like y'all feel that you're spiritually driven. Like I think it's Miss Black Barbie. Some of you guys see her. She's probably in the chat now. But like she said the same thing. She was able to connect with me on a spiritual level to where she felt drawn to be a part of this movement. Okay, to be a part and to help out any kind of way she could. And so that's what she's been doing. All right, just like I've been drawn to try to reach people. Okay, maybe you would call me back in the day in the 1500s or 2000 BC or AD or whatever. You would say I was a disciple. Okay, what would you call somebody like me that's running around speaking truth? Okay, that's telling you different ways that you can kind of heal yourself and help yourself, right? Like, what would you call me back in them days? This is the type of stuff we gotta look at. Now, I'm gonna break something else down to you real quick, but wait a minute, let me finish this off. Everybody is not gonna be touched. Just like everybody, we always say everybody ain't going to heaven. Let's rephrase that. Everybody's not going to the fifth dimension. You understand what I mean? Everybody's not able to vibrate high. Everybody's not on the same frequency as you. Everybody does not have a spiritual connection. Everybody does not have spiritual discernment. Just because you go to church don't mean you going to heaven. Okay? Just because you go to church don't mean you vibrating high. Right? Think about it. The Pope, he in the church, right? What he doing? Right? So, you start putting this stuff into perspective, right? It's like, well, God touched those that he needed to touch and protected them. Okay, like I'm seeing all these things happen to certain people and stuff. Like, you don't know why some things is happening to some people. You don't know why God allowed some people to take that walk and why he protected others and said, boop, you're not going, boop, you're not going, boop, 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 boop. Just hitting people, boom, 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 lighting them up. Y'all not going, y'all not doing that, right? So the other folks have taken that walk, and some of them that had to, guys, like, and this is where it kind of, we on a gray line, right? But they say, God said in the Bible, it's in the Bible, it says, you should, my children should drink deadly things and it shall not harm them, right? So if you walk in faith, which you should, then you should believe that yes, you are protected. And God is gonna protect you. The ones that are truly his, that he has protected. And some of these people are protected. They very well will not be affected by it. But for those that have taken it, you know what I'm saying? Just like some of them have went to churches and things that have misled them, right? And told them different things to take this walk or take that walk. And they did that. And there's people right now that's not here. You know, some people took that flight, right? But what I'm saying is that there's different ways that you can interpret the Bible, okay? And the ways that it is to be interpreted is not completely known, okay? We only put some things into our own perspective based off of what we believe and how it makes sense to us, all right? But we don't necessarily have the golden ticket for exactly how it is to be received, okay? So, like I said, how God is involved in all this and why it's like, well, God's sitting back watching. Now, let me tell you this. Prior to this reset, right? Let's get it understood. there was resets before. Okay? Now, one of the most notable resets would have been what? Noah and Noah's Ark. Who made the decision to reset then? From our understanding, God made a decision to reset, right? Or was it something else? Was it some other power that decided? But God touched who? Noah, gave him spiritual discernment. Because think about it. People say God spoke to him, this, that, and other. It ain't like God. Some of you have had God speak to you and you don't even know it, you know? But that was your spiritual consciousness. So you're not going to see necessarily God appear right now up in the clouds and say, Ned, you must save people. That's not what's going to happen. What'll happen is you will just be chilling, whatever, and all of a sudden, boom, you have an epiphany. You're like, man, I need to do this, that, and the other. Or go ahead and start getting you some food. Start putting some food away. Yeah. Go get you a house out, a cabin out in the forest somewhere, right? So you do this and you make moves and you believe that you're doing the right thing because God touched your mind and spiritually you connected. And so you do this and boom, that's God communicating with you, okay? And in that time, like Noah, he was talking to God. God told him, hey, put the ark together. I'm gonna help you, okay? Get your kids, get these animals, boom, boom, boom. Get them all on the ark. Y'all get out of here because I'm about to take care of this. And they did that. Guess what? They avoided the reset. Just them, for all we know, right? But who's to say? We only know that story from Noah's perspective. How do you know God ain't touched other people? Because we talk about God replenished the earth and everything, right? Well, if he did that, did he have the everybody that was just with Noah replenish the earth? That was the only people that was alive? Or were there other people that God touched? You only got one story of this book, okay? See, sometimes it's different, is different scenarios in that same time. Could have been a lady named Mary that didn't make it to the Bible. It could have been a man named Joshua or Paul that had the same information that Noah did. You understand what I'm saying? And they didn't make it to the Bible because their stories was not put in there. So, as I was saying, it's very well possible that God touched Noah spiritually, being that he was spiritually connected. God was able to talk to him and tell him, hey, this is what you need to do, right? And that's what he did. Okay, same thing like he doing with us, dealing with us and talking to certain people. Like God may have you talk to certain people in your family members and friends to save them. And he say witness to people. Okay, I believe we witnessing to people because we telling them, hey, this is what you need to do. But if you really been connected to God spiritually, as much as some of these people go to church, you would think that they would automatically know. You should know, but just because you go to church don't mean you going. All right, so I said that to say this because I made this video long already and I just wanted to hit some key points. Like I said, the resets in the past, guys. What was it? The bubonic plague. That was, I believe, 1720. Right? Let me hit on this stuff real quick. Okay, so the bubonic plague, guys. Okay, it from my understanding, it really took place in the 1300s. They say 1340s, but I've seen it as far as 1720. Okay, significantly enough, right? But they say in the bubonic plague, 25 million people died. Remember that number, 25 million people died. And they say it was almost a third of the continent's population. Almost a third, right? Okay, so they also had the cholera pandemic. That was in 1820. All right, so 1820, the cholera pandemic. And that, let me see something real quick, guys. Walk with me. Okay, cholera pandemic. Okay, so, all right, guys. Just a second. Okay, so the cholera pandemic. All right, in the cholera pandemic, there was, they said it was up to 150,000 victims in the United States and 200,000 in Mexico. Estimated 800,000 to 1 million people. 8 to 10% of the kingdom's population in 1847. Okay, but it was believed to have started in like 1820. All right, now remember that number. They say it was roughly about let me see. So this is the thing. So with the Spanish flu, they saying about 50 million. Okay, they saying 50 million people died with the Spanish flu. All right, now what's significant about that, guys, if you've been paying attention, right? You've been paying attention to the numbers and the fluctuation right now that we've been dealing with. One moment it's 6,000, next thing you know, oh, it's 100,000. Oh, we messed around. We didn't counted the wrong people. Oh, these people died of this. These people died of that. You see where I'm going with this, right? So if y'all can't think about this, these other particular instances where these certain amount of people died, this was, we talking about back in the 1700s, 1800s, and the early 1900s. It is 2020, guys. 2020. We have the most advanced technology, and we can't get our numbers right now. We can't get these numbers right now. But you think that they got the numbers right back in the 1700s, the 1800s? What is the chances that they got the numbers exactly right then? I'm talking about even if they had pure calculations based off a set variable and a set timeline, what is the chances that they would have the numbers right? With no advanced technology, no calculators, no communication device to call over to Canada, say, man, hey, how many deaths y'all got? Okay, can you run over there to the East Memorial Hospital and get the body count? Yeah, get the body count over there. And then after that, could you run over to Susie Jeans over there in the East Ward? And could you get the body count for how many kids she had that they lost over there? Okay, and after that, could you go over there and you send a messenger pigeon, probably, send a messenger pigeon over there to the UK and see if they can send you a direct number for every corner of that area of how many people done died. Do you see how outrageously stupid and crazy that sound? So if we can't get our numbers right today, guys, with the advanced technology that we got, because I just saw that they tried to post up the other day, and remember who's controlling the information. That's what's important. The people that control the information ain't telling you the truth. All right? They numbers is fabricated to fit their agenda. Okay? And then they tell you that these people died a certain kind of way, and yeah, we already know the real deal. So if that stuff is going on today, what went on back then? Okay? That's one thing that I wanted to touch on about that, guys. Obviously, they ain't have the technology or the counting system, or they didn't have the mathematic ability and the different communication to get that, to gather that information. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that. Okay, you didn't travel the whole globe and find out who died of this, that, and the other. And it's impossible for you to have known that. Because y'all, how was you diagnosing people? Did you have a PCR test back then? What was y'all doing? And I'm sure your autopsies was trash back then, right? So you have to put that in perspective, guys, and know that whatever number they gave you back before is a lie. It's a lie, okay? Now, what I believe is I believe that they was resetting that stuff then to that number that's on the Guidestones, the 500,000 or the 500 million. Okay, I believe that they've been trying to keep that number, keep it floating around that number. That's what they've been doing. All right. Now, another thing I'm about to tell you, I'm gonna leave it at that. Every one of these different instances of resets, there were people that did not get reset. I'm gonna say that again. Every instance of a reset, there were people that did not get reset. And people say, well, where is God in all of this? You see what I'm saying? How is it and who is it that survived those other situations? How many descendants of those people are still here? Who fell victim to those situations, and why did they fall victim? What I'm saying, guys, is that the people that were not, or that are not supposed to be a part of these heinous, sinister, nefarious acts have not been involved with them. They have not been touched by them. Okay, why? Because they was touched by the Most High. They was touched spiritually, gave them spiritual discernment, say, hey, don't do this, that, don't do that. Hey, I'm gonna make sure you don't make it to that clinic. I'm gonna make sure that you take this other route. Okay, I'm gonna protect you. Okay, I'm gonna raise your consciousness to the point where you know that you shouldn't do this or do that. Okay, you're not gonna take that walk because, boom, I touched your consciousness. All right, and if you didn't touch your consciousness, then guess what? You probably was one of the 25 million that died there that they claim, which is probably way more than that, guys. They tell you a number based off of what they want to believe. Did they do census reports back then? Think about that, guys. So they telling you all these. You think they just started fabricating numbers today? Guys, the same thing. Who you think orchestrated those things back then? Okay, you think those was regular people orchestrating it, or do you think they was tied to the 13 bloodlines? Right? And why do these 13 bloodlines have a long family tree of descendants? You see what I'm saying? The bloodline. How is that bloodline so pure for all these years? All these decades and centuries, right? And they look so old and everything else. Think about it, guys. Think about it. So, what I'm saying is that, guys, people sitting back and they waiting on God to intervene. But what people is failing to realize, God has already intervened. How else would you know not to take that walk? Unless God touched you and said, don't take that walk. Take this route. Do this. Go there. You see what I'm saying? So some of you need to be thankful and grateful and understand the reason that you ain't did this or done that is because God told you not to do that. Your spiritual connection, your spiritual discernment kept you from doing that. Just like those from the 1800s, the same thing. They did not take those walks and do this and that because they had divine intervention. God talked to them and handled that. Even there's been situations where it was like people went to take a walk and they said, oh, this stuff got replaced and there was something wrong with it and everything else. And they ended up getting out of there scot-free. They didn't end up taking no walk. It's been stuff like that happen. Divine intervention. Okay? People like you and me right now, we here talking and we have a spiritual connection. We on another level. We're vibrating high enough to have raised our consciousness to the next dimension, or the fourth dimension, to whereas we can see. We got our glasses, we got our shades on. Okay? We see the BS. Like everything is clear to us when you see things through the fourth density. But when you think vibrating on the 3D level, your glasses, guess what? Remember you go to the theater, they give you the 3D glasses so you can see stuff in 3D. You see what I'm saying? You get the 3D glasses so you can see the stuff in 3D. But what happens when you get the 4D glasses? What happens when you get the 5D glasses? You see what I'm saying? What happens when you get those other glasses? What do you see? What, better yet, what do you know? People will perish for lack of knowledge, guys. But knowledge is consciousness. If you have no consciousness, man, if you are not conscious, then you cannot have the knowledge that you need to avoid walking that walk. You won't be conscious of what's going on around you if you headed straight for that walk, if you taking that walk and you programmed in. I hope, guys, I hope that this video made sense. I hope it made sense, man. I just put a lot of stuff in perspective. I mean, you can look at stuff from my angle, you can look at it from your angle. Okay? Yes, demons, devils, Dracos, and a whole host of other different beings do exist. God exists. God has a way of talking to the people that he wants to talk to. Okay? Telepathically, he'll touch you. All right? You would know, hey, don't do this, don't do that. If he ain't talked to you and he ain't told you nothing, guess what? He may not have been worried about you. He may not have been concerned about you. I remember they say that about a coach, man. If a coach stop hollering at one of his players, man, that's because he don't plan on using them. He don't care for them no more. Can the same thing be said for God? God only cares for the ones that he feels that he has a need for, or has been walking in a righteous path and he has that love for. Okay? And everybody will say, well, God loves everybody. Do he? I mean, do he? Okay, it's people running around here doing all kind of crimes and evil acts on people, man. You think God cares for them? I mean, it's people that's straight, pure evil, man. Like, cut the crap, man. I don't care. People say, oh, God cares about everybody. Man, God ain't behind people doing this type of evil stuff that they doing. And then again, some of them people are demon possessed because they vibrate on low frequency. And they already been had by Satan. He is theirs for the taking. You know what I'm saying? They're his for the taking. They already done messed up. They're already in hell. They're vibrating on a 3D level, guys. They see 3D. They can't raise their consciousness to a level to where they would have been protected when this stuff came. We've been protected. Our consciousness has been raised over this time for whatever reason. You know, yeah, maybe I'm aware of different things, but what put me in a position to be aware? What kept my mind open to whereas I could be aware and consciously connected? Okay? What did that? Is it because of my heart and the righteous walk that I've had that allowed me? Like I told you about me and dealing with insects and animals and things like that. You know, that's me. And I'm a humanitarian or a caring or just a genuine loving person. And some of you are too. And that's why we do the stuff that we do. And that's why God very well looked out for us. I don't know if God really had it out for, you know, real good people. Now, I mean, I would assume that there's some good people that then took this walk, but we don't know what kind of demons people got in their closets or what kind of real intentions or how much hate some people really have in them. We don't know that. You see people and you want to believe that that's, you know, it's you know, real goodness and kindness behind those crooked smiles that some of these people have. But some people really don't like you. Some people really hate you. Some people really are evil inside. Some people really, you know, have you know, deep-rooted hate and evil in them, man. So, anywho, guys, I'm not gonna make this video any longer. I'm gonna put this up. I think this is pretty clean, so I'm gonna put it on YouTube. I'm taking a risk, and if this get taken down, guys, then I'm probably not gonna post nothing on this channel for like a couple months. Because they just messing if that happens. But I ain't talking about nothing. Y'all already know. Like, anybody that's connected to me, they know what I'm talking about, what I mean when I say stuff. So, anywho, guys, like I said, I appreciate those that have supported, man, that have donated and everything. Like I said, once again, Miss Melissa, I appreciate the donation, man. Very, very much appreciate everything else, man. If y'all haven't already, follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Telegram. Follow me on Truth Social. Follow me on all the platforms. I got the links in the bio. Y'all be safe. I will catch you on the next video.
There are pockets of resistance all around the planet. We've been fighting a long time. If you're listening to this, you are not alone.